Welcome back to Our Issues Milwaukee. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. Our focus this morning has been on race and race relations. My next guest is the chief agent and founder of Flying Elephant Foundation, president of the Doman Company Foundation, and just completed her first children's book, I Am a Boy of Color, Mrs. Deanna Singh. How are you?
I'm wonderful. So great to be here with you today.
I am so pleased to have you here. Needless to say, you are a very busy woman. So I want to get right into your background. Sure. You're a native of Milwaukee.
Yes.
You've earned a BA in Urban Studies from Fordham University. You have a law degree from Georgetown University and a master's in Business Administration from the University of Wisconsin. Pretty impressive. How do you take all that you've learned and actually put it to work in helping underserved communities?
You know, it's always been really important to me to make sure that I could use all the blessings and opportunities that I've had to really come back and use that work or use those opportunities for underserved communities. You know, my parents always taught me it's not what you have, it's what you do with what you have. And so for me, it's been incredibly important, particularly in the nonprofit sector and in the social sector, to be able to take those experiences and those opportunities and you know, the things that I learned while I was in school and be able to reapply them, especially in communities that don't always get a voice.
Yeah, it's extremely important. And if you would tell us more about your Flying Elephant Foundation and what it actually represents.
Sure. So Flying Elephant is this idea, you know, people are like, where did that name come from? And, you know, for me, it's really important. I'm actually African American and my father is a Sikh American. And so I'm a biracial woman. And, you know, you think about the elephant, this majestic, you know, animal, both in the African American community and also in the Asian community. And so for me, that's kind of, you know, this majestic animal has always been really important to me and represented, I think, my cultures.
And represents good luck, right?
Yes, yes, exactly. All kinds of wonderful, all kinds of wonderful things. But the idea of it flying was really this concept that the most wonderful things that we can do in the world is when we take something majestic and beautiful and creative and we give it wings. And so for me, the elephant represented that majestic and creative and powerful and good luck and all of those things. And to be able to think about how we give them wings. But the foundation actually is something that's a little bit separate than just the company. The company, I do a tremendous amount of speaking and, you know, just trying to encourage particularly our young people in the ideas of social change and the ideas of social impact, you know, and the idea of what it means to be a social innovator. So those are really important things about, you know, the company's message, but the foundation actually is not run by me. It's run by my two children.
Wow.
Yes. So the foundation is run by my son, Zephaniah, who's 8, and my other son, Zion, who is 4.
Wow.
They are co-chairmen. They're very particular about making sure they had a co in front of the title. But the idea was, how do we give, as parents, give them the opportunity to reinvest in the community, right? Not what you have, but what you do with what you have. How do we challenge them to really take that message forward?
Passing along what your parents taught you to your young men. And they actually raise money for worthy organizations through a variety of different ventures.
Yes.
So what are some of those things they do to raise money?
Sure. So my eldest son has been the most active, obviously. He's 8.
A whole 8.
A whole 8. But he's done a number of different things, and they've all really come from him. I think one of my favorite examples is we took him abroad. He went to India, and he was really touched by what he saw happening there, and he was very particular about this. He said, Mom, I really want to do something to support other mothers who are doing their best for their children. And I thought, wow, I think at the time he was like 5 or 6 years old, and he said, I saw a lot of mothers who are really struggling to feed their children. Is there a way that we could do something to support them? And so he put together like a lemonade stand, and he raised all this money. He, you know, sat in the front of my building and used his cuteness to get everybody to pay, you know, a lot of money for a lemonade. And then he took that money and went on to Kiva and found a group of women who were trying to support their families, and he supported them. He completely funded one of their projects, and that's the kind of thing that we've tried to encourage our young men to do.
Yeah, and you've instilled something so special in your young men at such an early age. It's like you're grooming them to be something great. It's inevitable, right?
I think so. I'm biased. You know, but I believe that it's not even just about grooming them. I think all of our children, innately, we sort of as humans look around us and think about how we fit into the world. And so for him to be able to see that, or for both of them to be able to see that and then say to them, I see that too, honey. I see that, and I'm going to make a way for you to be able to do that. Not like, oh, that's a crazy idea. Where'd you come up with that? Or, you know, what? Just not even listening to him. But no, I'm listening to you. I hear what you're saying. I see what you see. Let me make a path for you.
Let me make it possible.
Let me try.
I love that. And speaking of your children, I mentioned you just completed your first children's book titled I Am a Boy of Color. Tell us about that and how you came up with this concept.
Sure. I never thought that I would be a children's author. Let's start with that. So this isn't something that I, you know, went out and tried to do. This was really something that came to me. And it came because I was looking at my children, I was looking at all these wonderful children that I get to work with, and I was getting really frustrated. I was getting really frustrated because I felt like the discourse around our children and the way that people refer to them and the way that they're talked about as statistics, as problems that need to be solved, it didn't jive, right? It didn't jive with what I knew in my heart, and I know in my heart to be true, because I see it every day in my own boys, and I see it every day in the schools I visit, and the other children I meet, that's not a reflection of our kids. You know, our kids, for the most part, are doing great, and they're making great decisions. And so, for me, the book was about really writing a letter to the children.
Oh, wow.
Here is what I want you to see. Here's what I see when I look into the mirror and I see you, and here's what I want you to see. So it's really a book of affirmations. We use children who represent all different colors and shades, and the book is just about, when you look at me, please see me, because this is what I see.
Wow, and I picked it up because the illustrations just absolutely wonderful, and we have to shout out your illustrator because he too is from Milwaukee, graduated from Milwaukee High School of the Arts, went to the Art Institute. I mean, pretty amazing, and his name is?
Amar Nasormo.
Okay, so great job, Amar. Just wanted to shout him out.
Amazing. Every time he would bring a picture and we would look at it, my eyes would just tear up, and now I see that happening to other parents as they observe, and he's just an amazing, amazing artist.
I love it. And you have a book launch party that's going to be happening on December 6th. So that's going to be officially, like, this book is available for everybody. How can they get their hands on it?
Sure. Well, you can come to the launch if you want to come. We're just asking people to register, so they could go to iamaboyofcolor.com and register there.
Okay.
They can also purchase books now, so they are available for purchase either through the website iamaboyofcolor.com or through Amazon.
Okay.
So yes.
I love it. And many of our viewers will be familiar with Andre Lee Ellis. He's been on this show at least 5 times, so and I'm not kidding. But you were talking about how your sons find organizations that really inspire them, so to speak, and you're going to be doing something with Andre's We Got This tied in with the book, right?
Right, exactly. So what we've decided to do, my husband and I are actually taking proceeds from the book and we're putting it towards the foundation. And so we're asking people to keep that in mind, that it's really important that we're funding other projects that are actually recreating and re-enlightening people on what the image of our children should look like.
That is wonderful.
For me, it's pretty funny when you're having a board meeting with a 4-year-old and an 8-year-old, right? There's juice boxes and kind of some negotiations on other things. And we sat down though, and I said to the boys, I want to show you a video about Mr. Ellis and what he's doing. And then I took them down this summer. We went for a Saturday, and they saw Mr. Ellis and got to see the garden and all of that. And I said, this event is coming up, and you need to think about where you want the first, the first of this bundle of proceeds to go to. Where do you want to go to? And they thought about it, and I said, here's one of the options. Before I could even get to the second option, they were like, that's it, Mom, that's exactly what we want to do. And not only that, but Dad has to walk, and our grandparents have to walk. And so not only are they going to be funding it, but the men in our family are participating too. So it's great ripple effects.
Good stuff. And our last guest, and we're wrapping up, we've run out of time, but our last guest talked about having his 4 sons and having that conversation. What conversation or advice do you have for your 2 young men of color?
Yes. For me, the most important thing that my children need to remember is that they have to step in their purpose. So, I think if they stay true to that, and whatever that ends up meaning for them, then I will be fine as a mother. And I don't want anybody to be able to pull them away from that, to distract them. I don't want other people's images of them to distract them. I think if all of our children, really if all of us as just as human beings, could stay in our purpose, I think the world would be an amazing place.
Wow, and that is a great way to end today's show. Thank you so much.
I really appreciate the support.
Continued success with everything you're doing, and I think we're going to be hearing more from those two co-chairmen of yours. So it has been a pleasure. Thank you. Deanna Singh is the author of the children's book, I Am a Boy of Color. It is now available online at IamABoyOfColor.com. And for more information on Deanna and the outstanding work that she does, you can also log on to DeannaSingh.com. That's going to do it for today's show. I'm your host, Andrea Williams. As always, I thank you for watching, and I do hope you join us again next week as we take another look at Our Issues Milwaukee. Have a great day.